Welcome back to Road to FIRE. We're a family of three documenting our journey to FIRE, financial independence, retire early. Let's talk about our January 2021 net worth update. I'll provide all our roll numbers, current assets and liability, and how we are tracking towards our 2021 net worth goal, like always. So please hang with me. So the last week in January was bananas. You might not know this, but GameStop was a large part of my childhood in the early 2000s. Now I know there will be dozens of Harvard Business Review case studies created off that one week for all future MBA grads. Now I feel like January as a whole felt like an entire year versus 1 month with all that had happened. But regardless of the shenanigans, we keep on our path, keep the course, and we stay investing for the long term. We invested over $6,000 into the market and will keep following the DCA method because it's easy and it works. So how do you calculate net worth? To find your net worth, you take your assets minus your liabilities. Think of your assets of what you own, while your liabilities are what you owe. For example, to understand home equity, you take the value of your home, what you own, minus your mortgage, what you owe, to get owner's equity. It's probably one of the easiest financial equations out there. This is how we measure our net worth month over month. To keep things real simple, we only include assets that have a value greater than or equal to $5,000. Yes, some assets are depreciating, like our cars, which have gone down in value since last month, but they still have value, so we include them. Honestly, after my husband gets a new job, we hope to sell our Audi and become a one-car family again. But we don't include art pieces, jewelry, cameras, laptops, or other small assets we have, as those items have subjective value. Plus, those items won't really add to our FIRE journey overall. Keeping these items out make it easy for us to track every month. But despite tracking our total net worth, I really focus on or hone in our FIRE assets. First is our passive income. This is the cash flow that will cover our expenses so we can truly be independent from a W-2. Right now we're averaging about $1,700 a month, but we need this to get to about $14,000 to cover all of our base expenses. Secondly, I track our cash, which would be our savings, sinking funds, and emergency account. Before we retire early, I would love to get our cash on hand to be about 2 years worth of expenses. Right now we're sitting on about 6 months, but that's more than likely will change in the near future. And lastly is our investments as expected. We plan to tap into our retirement accounts early to cover expenses alongside our passive income. These three assets are our true FIRE assets, but I track these outside of our total net worth just to make sure we're trending in the right direction. So if the value of my house or car decreases, I don't sweat it, as those assets aren't really pivotal to hitting FIRE for us. So let's review our current numbers. Keep in mind these values are a snapshot in time. I try to pull these at the end of the month, but these numbers represented are through the 29th to keep on my YouTube schedule. I will say from when I made the January portfolio video, which I'll link here if you haven't seen it, to the 29th, a lot has changed in the market. As the market continues to fluctuate, so does our net worth, especially since most of our net worth is in our long-term retirement investments. So our assets are made up of two main sections, our large and our fixed assets as well as our liquid assets. We categorize it this way to make things simple and easy for us, and it works. You can use the numbers software in your Mac to create this easy template as well. So our large and our fixed assets include our two cars and our mortgage and our duplex. I'm already mentally planning for another home later this year, so more to come on that journey. These three assets total to just over $420,000. You will notice a drop in value of my Tesla of about $1,200 and a slight increase in our Audi car number 2 of about $800. Mint provides these updates to us and I update them periodically. For our liquid assets, we include our investments and cash reserves or our sinking funds on hand. For cash, we have about $7,100 in our checking accounts and over $36,000 in our savings, which is a slight decline from last month as we had a few home repairs to finish. In total, we have about $43,000 of cash in our accounts, mostly within our savings account within Capital One. We do have two checkings accounts with Wells Fargo. For retirement, we have about $191,000 in our 401ks, IRAs, and Roths. We also have about $50,000 in a brokerage account outside of our retirement accounts. We are really working again to grow this to over $100,000 this year. In total, our liquid assets, also known as our FIRE assets, are about $284,000. Again, we don't add personal items into our analysis as those items don't really move the needle overall. For total liabilities, we keep things really simple as we currently only have two line items. We have one car loan, which is on our Tesla, and the balance is just under $31,000. I did make a big payment yesterday, but it has not cleared yet, so more to come in our February update. We then have a current mortgage balance of about $343,000 on our house hack. The goal overall is to get rid of the Tesla debt within 18 months at the latest. In total, we owe just under $374,000, which is a small decline from last month. So here's our total net worth breakout for January, kicking off 2021. Our total assets are about $705,000, including our liquid and long-term fixed assets. And our total liabilities, including our Tesla and our duplex, is just under $374,000, making our total net worth to be slightly over $331,000. Am I happy with this start? I honestly don't know because I only have one data point for the year. I'll get a better read on our progress at the end of Q1. But regardless, we stay the course and keep on investing the way we are investing. So here's our net worth trend graph. We started tracking our net worth in May of last year. I always add the trailing 6 to 7 months to show our progress, more so for a personal reminder for myself. We saw strong growth at the end of 2020, but things have finally slowed down as expected. I can't expect large growth month over month all the time, so I was waiting for a slowdown to occur. So from December to January, we saw an itty-bitty growth of about 1.3%. This 1.3% growth is just over $4,000. Most of the growth was due to increased value in our taxable brokerage account month over month, which was offset by a decline in our car valuation. I will also say the market wasn't really favorable for us as well, but this is all a part of the process. So how does our net worth stack up with those in our age group? This net worth by age chart is using the Federal Reserve 2019 SCF data. Over 100,000 people were surveyed providing this data. I'll provide the link in the description box below if you want to go into the details. So we are sitting here on the graph as I am 31 and my husband is turning 33 next week. Side note, I need to get him a gift ASAP. Right now, we're just over the 90 percentile as a unit, but individually, we'll be closer to about the 80 percentile in our age group. Despite looking at this chart, I still feel we're way behind based on our gross income. I do love reviewing the percentiles by age group on a monthly basis because these numbers motivate me. Some people hate it, some people love it, but for me personally, it keeps me on my toes. But every time I post this video, I almost want to call out that 1, your net worth isn't your self-worth, and 2, look at the medium, not the average when tracking against your peer group. So here are our goals for 2021. I made an entire video about them and I can link that here if you care to get into the details. But overall, the first 3 goals are coming along pretty well. But we are struggling with number 4, as getting or finding the right side hustles that fit my current lifestyle is proving to be harder than I thought. I really want a side hustle that doesn't take away time from my son or is not outside of my home. Now the verdict is still out on number 5, which I think will be the second hardest to hit. I can't tell if we're off to a good start or not until I have a few more months under my belt to gauge our progress, but more to come. So here are our 2021 net worth tracker. This outlines our progress to hitting our end of year goal of having a net worth over $495,000. Right now, we're tracking about 66.9% to our goal, and by the end of Q2, we need to be around $415,000 to stay on track. We really can't do anything but what we are currently doing. It's out of our hands, really. We have increased our investing, adjusted and cut our expenses, and now it's up to the time in the market to carry us over. Regardless of how things turn out, I know in the long term we are heading in the right direction. I'm anxious to see what our numbers will be like in February. Because I only have one data point, I can't tell if we're trending in the right direction at the right pace for the year. I really am happy with how much we were able to put into the market despite the fluctuations. The key is to continue to find ways to increase our income. I know I sound like a broken record, but it's always on my mind. I did get a few tips from some IG friends of good side hustles to start this week. Hope they provide a good runway for us to hit our goals. Now, if you made it this far, thank you so much for watching. But don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe below. Until next time.